We was just talking about trending earlier. I had an interview that was trending a week or so ago with DopeBoy Raw.
That's my man. You know, that's a little bro to me.
Yeah, I already know. And I was thinking to myself, Raw did that interview with me about 4 years ago, and out of nowhere it hit for 4 million views on somebody else. But I'm like, maybe I should have put it up on Twitter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I seen that. Matter of fact, Bobby Shmurda posted it. It's the craziest thing.
Bobby Shmurda posted it too.
Bobby Shmurda posted a piece of an interview that you did with Ra. It was funny because Bobby's one of our artists, so I go through Bobby's social all the time. So I'm flipping through, and I'm like, I saw Ra pop up, and I'm like, wait, am I? I'm like, am I on my thing again? I'm kind of looking, and I'm like, oh, Bobby. I said, what are the chances that Bobby would post Raw?
Exactly.
And it shot out of here because he was talking about, you know, the jury and having the whole thing. So that was dope.
When you found him as a youngster, man, what was it like working with him? And then where the hell is Ra at now?
So Ra is on a little vacation. He'll be home soon, as I'm told.
Okay.
So you know, can't wait. You know, I can't wait to see him.
Exactly.
I hope he's in better spirits. You know, his grandmother passed. It would have been last year, 2021, and you know, like, I knew that was a sensitive spot for him because he was really close to his grandmother. So it took a little toll on him, but I mean, he'll be home soon. But Ra, and I tell this to people all the time, man, like, Ra is probably one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life. Like, seriously, like,
I'm with you.
People who know him as DopeBoy Ra may only be like, okay, cool, he do the, you know, he spit the hard, the trap shit, and they like him as a, you know, whatever. But Ra can rap with your favorite rapper. Yeah. He can produce with your favorite producer. He can outdress 99% of the, like, Ra really the total package, bro. Like, I mean, he got the style. He dressed like how people say Dipset be fresh. Yeah. Ra is Atlanta Dipset and has been that way since I've known him.
I'm with you.
And like I said, and just always could spit and produce and do, and you know, he can write songs. Like, I don't even want to tell you some of the stuff that he's ghost written that people would be like, he wrote for who? Damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ra is amazing. I think with Ra, what you ran into is and I've told him this before, I think you know, he had success early. He signed to Social Def when he was really, really young. Like, Ra is much younger than people think he is. Yeah. But he's been in the game for a while. And he signed to So very, very early. The deal didn't work out. And so I watched Ra come out of that Social Def deal, and I watched how he adapted to being, like, quote unquote famous, to having to kind of go back to Glenwood, go back and be around people who looked at him a certain way. And now they looking like,
what you doing back here?
Right. Yeah. And I watched him kind of like battle with that. But the thing that he always had was that talent. That's like, he's so talented. And so, and he's a stickler. He's like a perfectionist almost. So I would tell him, like, oh, bro, all you got to do is go do this, do that. He'd be like, nah, man, I don't want to shoot a video unless that video gonna look like, look right. And I'm like, bro, you can't wait for everything to be perfect or you're never gonna drop because it's gonna always be a thing, right? But he's like, Nick, I'm not coming out the house unless my clothes look right, my video look right. And I think that stalled him to a certain degree. But what you did see is that when you saw him, it was right.
He was on.
And he was one of the people that he didn't know what he was doing at the time, but he was the ones that kind of beat the algorithm early. What? That DopeBoy, Dope Sell Itself series, he was just dropping music, dropping against the advice of me included, of several of us being like, bro, stop dropping all this music. Like, I don't even, what are we on, Dope Sell Itself 20? At this point, like, it's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? And all of them got 13, 15, 20 songs on them. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't even know what's on what. Yeah. I just know I like the music. Thanks. And but Ra, like I said, it wasn't strategic. Ra was just like, I got some music, I've been recording, bam, it's going out. But what I watched him do in real time was go from like 25, 30,000 followers. He had just did the deal with Tip, the Grand Hustle deal. Then went on tour. He got off tour. He had about 40,000 followers. He's only gained maybe like 10, 15,000 followers while he's on tour. Yeah. He got off tour, started dropping them records. And then next thing I know, within less than a year's time, 125,000 followers. I'm like, okay, maybe you was right. You know what I'm saying?
You know, when it comes to that algorithm, you got to feed that beast. That's what people don't understand. Yeah. If you feed that beast, it'll show back up to you.
Now we tell people, man, you shouldn't go 6 weeks without dropping. Like we advise our artists, like, hey, 6 weeks shouldn't pass without you dropping something. A single, a project, a feature.
Come on,
just something to keep feeding the algorithm, man. And I think that as much as people have given you a cheat code or a way to kind of work the system, I think that's a lot of pressure on the artist to tell somebody like, hey man, don't let a month or two go by without you doing something. It's like people ain't, artists weren't programmed that way.
Yeah.
They were programmed to drop a single or two, drop an album, and then sit back, promote an album for a little while. It's like, nope, but look around at some of your favorite artists. If you do the math, Drake kind of come with something.
That's why Future became
Future. Future is one of the top. Listen, bro. When live mixtapes was a thing, shouts out to Pesh and all them. Like,
what up, though, Pesh?
They weren't streaming early before we were calling it what it is. But you know what I'm saying. Orlando McGee tells me the story all the time. He was like, bro, Future had these amazing numbers, but that wasn't the thing. Billboard didn't count streaming numbers at the time. The minute that they started counting streaming, Future went through the roof because he had built that following, which is, again, I tell people all the time, like, the old way works too now. Like, don't just discount. Future came up in that era of going to Magic City, sitting in the club, building fans, making records. He found a niche of people who wanted to hear what he did, and he grew it, kept dropping music, and then when it came time to really show off,
he was there.
He was there.